we don't know what the people before us, what their intentions was. That's true. But I do know one thing, bro. Law is law. And they put it down. They already told us the bylaws, how to do it, the prayers, and all that. You hear me? So all you gotta do is follow it. But all you gotta do is follow it. So what you said was not a true statement, bro.
No, I can't hear both of you at the same time. But are they following it today, though?
Bro, it doesn't matter. I said that they know how to follow it because these people already put it down. So with me personally, if you know your history and you know your literature,
you gotta let Rudy land.
Yeah, I'm about to let you land, Rudy. I'm about to let you land, but I just wanted to make it clear. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to.
Respectfully,
Go ahead.
ain't nothing clear.
You put words in his mouth.
Chuck, you cut me off. What I was talking about, only the stuff that I have a little bit of information about. Not Chicago, not the West Coast.
Go ahead, bro.
About the East Coast. Now,
pardon me, bro. I'm sorry.
To my understanding, the way the gang culture started on this side over here was a misunderstanding, a big concoction. It wasn't like the way y'all. It wasn't cultural like it was for y'all. It wasn't cultural the way it was for y'all. It was drafted and concocted and whatever you want to call it for us over here. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Remember, it came from a whole bunch of lessons and something else.
Yeah, a little bit of Chicago, a little bit of the West Coast.
Come on, bro. Come on. We talking about. We trying to stay focused on what we talking about. I'm not talking about peace stone with y'all.
No, you right, bro. I just don't want to get it like, cause like you talking about where you from though, Rudy Low. I don't want my viewers. Hey, Rudy Low. I just don't want my viewers to get confused.
That's why I'm clarifying. Rich. I'm not talking about where Rich is from. That's cultural. Y'all grew up into that. Y'all grew up into this family, generations. So y'all understand it more than we understand it. This is something that we just got abreast to, and then it was disbobulated. It was misinformation. So
from the gate.
Well, you have people right here from the East that's saying.
Let me finish, please. Can I please finish?
Yeah, go ahead. Finish, bro.
If the author, if the author of a book is dishonorable, then you don't trust the book. If the author of the book is dishonorable, you don't trust the book.
I believe that too.
I don't give a fuck about what you say. You a liar. Let you prove it to me.
Yo, but you know what's ill? You know what's ill about the author of a book, though, Root? Like the ill shit about an author of a book. Like they'll come up with a theory. Like they came up with a theory. I made this point yesterday that 2 + 2 = 4. And they wrote that in the book, and you cannot disclaim, you can't discredit that. That's somebody that put something in the book. We don't know about the author, but we know that the shit add up.
Yeah, that's true though. Hey, Kratos, that's true though. But listen, that's true.
That's been recorded. That's how we learn.
All I'm saying, though, listen, all I'm saying is if you follow something and you said that you was with that and you followed them teachings, you don't gotta change. You don't gotta drop no flags or nothing. Only thing you gotta do is go back to the original teachings, brothers and sisters. That's it.
But you made a point earlier, Chuck, and you didn't really. You could have elaborated on that when you talk about the peace stones getting into the politics and getting people in those positions.
And jobs.
That's outside. Hold on, but that's outside of hip hop. Now, my thing. What I say is, if you really
said we was talking about just hip hop right now.
Hold on, Chuck. And I just say that if you're gonna run a gang, and I only made the comparison to an Italian gang, is because when they run a gang and they take over something, they take over something. Niggas didn't take over nothing but genocide. Niggas didn't take over nothing but poisoning and perpetual bullshit. That's what niggas took on. And that's not no disrespect to anybody that's out there banging and doing what they doing. That's what you do. But in my eyes, because I'm not from that cloth of gang bang, I don't do that. But I just say, if you're going to do it, then take over a sector of the fucking working force or something. Take over that.
That's true. Because they organize to infiltrate the infrastructure. So,
right.
So now they're a part of the infrastructure, so they can't be replaced and they can't be
removed.
They can't be removed. They're part of it. So their infiltration didn't just start at the street level to own the street. Their level started to infiltrate business, law, fucking everything.
So look. So hey Kratos, your story.
They even investing in sending their kids to school, because if you look at the mobsters, 90% of their children is lawyers and doctors. So,
yeah, that's true. That's true. That might be true, right? But listen, here's the thing though, bro. We don't have a problem with that. Only thing is, we had a problem with the way people give education, bro. And that was our problem from the gate. That came back in then, bro. That's before me. Like the way people demonstrate education, our people had a problem with it. So they like, yo, you don't need to go to school for that. Fuck. They ain't even telling you the right shit. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the problems. Beyond gun violence and gang banging and all that, that's another one of the problems. People don't even mention that one, but I'm glad you guys pointed it out, because that's true. That's one of the problems that's in that circle.
It's a problem, Chuck. It's a problem, Chuck. And niggas don't point it out. And yeah, you know what? That might be blatant ignorance, because it's in your face on how you got to make a change, and the only way you can make a change.
No, it's not, bro. It's not. I wouldn't think it's ignorant.
And you guys are saying that the inception of all these gangs, it was about community and it went to uplift and build shit. But guess what? That's not what it is today. They don't live up to that.
One of the easiest things niggas can have is excuses, and niggas got tons of excuses, bro.
That's a whole
I'll say this. People look at these organizations like they 100% negative, like there is no positivity, like there is no community action from these people, like there is no fundraising, like there is no programs. And that's just not true. That's just not the case. LA is known for having a multitude of gang intervention programs and gang truces that have set the tone. There really is no Crip on blood war going on in LA. Crips and Bloods might ride in the same car. So as far as with that part of the rag stuff has been put down. Just what you seeing out there on the streets is just normal violence. But as far as crime intervention, no, it's a lot of programs in LA for that.
Yo, but Rich, if listen, hypothetically, if they all threw their flags down, then there'd be no gang intervention, because there ain't no gangs no more. There's more, solidarity. There's more unity, because you break yourselves up by becoming the United Colors of Benetton. Like, you don't have to do that when you know your ultimate goal is to fucking infiltrate the system and use it like you're supposed to use it.
What borough are you from, Kratos?
Nigga, but you said who?
No, I don't have to.
Hold
on. 1 second, gang. 1 second. Let me tell everybody to subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? It's death for the Cloud Chaser. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Salute to us. You know what I'm saying? We doing it again. For the Cloud Chaser TV. We trying to get a whole conversation going, right? I'm gonna drop the link right now. If anybody want to come up and have this conversation with these guys, you know what I'm saying? We streaming on multiple platforms. So you got some guys on Clubhouse, you got some guys on Twitch, you got some guys on YouTube, whatever, man. Follow us, Death of the Cloud Chaser. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, and that's what it's gonna always be. You hear me? So let's get in tune, man. Let's get in tune with what's going on. So me personally, though, bro, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this Styles P, man. Let's change the subject.
But that black hoodie Hocus, that ain't the same Hocus that y'all see right now on the internet. See, where I'm from, all of our big homies went to the feds. Ben went to the feds when we was kids. So me and my fam, right? Me and my circle of Castle Hill Projects, we was forced to be big homies at 18 years old, 19 years old. And nah, I ain't trying to get out of nothing. I ain't trying to get myself out of nothing. Tell them what I've been in already. I lived that life in any way you want to put it. Getting money, hustling, putting in work, talking indictments. Sat on Rikers Island 4 years, looked the judge in the eye, picked 12, and got acquitted. Stand up, stood tall. As the big homie. I wasn't a little pup on an indictment. I was the big homie. I was who they wanted. I was the get out of jail free card. Even till today, they trying to use me as a get out of jail free card. So to the youth out there, if you repping a gang now, you repping a criminal enterprise. And if years later, you want to call yourself inactive and just be chilling, you know what? they could still just come grab you for no reason. Don't tell me they can't because they did it to me. So no, don't be a 42-year-old man still having an assumption out there that you repping the gang when you really not. Because you will end up on somebody, Rico. These gangs ain't do for us what we thought they would, bro. And this ain't about me. This is really about saving and changing lives, bro. Every time we recruit a new member, we are recruiting them into a criminal enterprise. It's like, why y'all don't focus on that? It's like y'all keep coming up with your own reasons on why I did it when I tell everybody why I did it. Because Hocus can't be that real. He can't really be trying to help these kids. And the fact of the matter that I've been doing this work for years, since I came home in 2012, shows that y'all really haven't been paying attention to me. And the thing I love about you, Jim, is that you reach back and you do take niggas out the mud and try to help them like you doing with my brother Dice Peso.
Right.
Me and Dice Peso was running around every day together trying to figure it out, getting it out the mud.
Down.
So when I seen you embrace him, you earned the salute from me that you don't even understand. So like I've been saying, even if you don't drop your flag, the movement should be supported because the mission is to bring down this homicide rate in the hood. And right now, it's a spotlight on New York. We got everybody watching. We have the chance and opportunity to build something new that's not based around criminality. And I think that's more important than me dropping my flag. I already helped so many walk away from the gang. And, you know, little do y'all know, a lot of the people that y'all respect and look up to is in my DM supporting. And they like, Hocus, you doing the right thing. So, Jim, with a voice like yours, more people will want to come out and support, even if they don't drop their flag. All we need is the support. Let's build this new world together. I can't do it alone.
Hey, yo. See, this what if he told Baby Runner, he told LA, bro, like, bro, hey, Rich, they can't say nothing. Right or wrong?
Right.
Because it was clear and precise on what exactly he trying to do.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
That was genuine.
And I don't think nobody in the country have a problem with what he just said on that part of that game. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I didn't
You can't deny the fact.
That's my first time hearing that part, bro. This is new, though. This is today, though. This Hocus45th today. So what we've been reacting to is Hocus45th yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you got to get it right eventually. You know what I'm saying? He got it right on this one. I'm going to keep it a buck, man. Shout out to Hocus45th.
Yeah, he got it right. He got that. He got it. You can still hear something.
Hey, when he kind of taking, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but when he said, yo, you gonna end up on somebody Rico, it automatically reminded me of Jim Jones and that whole individual one situation. I'm like, damn, both of them kind of had some life experiences that they could point at reference in terms of why they got to make this change. So I guess in a way, I'm kind of surprised Jim Jones is taking that position he's taking for real. Pause.
Are you saying, Imam, that you thought he was taking some shots at Jim Jones at the same time?
Well, he was not taking shots, but
earlier he took a shot at Jim Jones. When
I don't think that he was taking shots, but I think that he was bringing clarity to what Jim Jones said. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, he took a shot earlier when he said he took a shot earlier when he said that I was really out there and you was.
I was just about to say that.
No disrespect to you.
Maybe let's say he's defending himself, right? Because he doesn't want to get discredited for the work he really did.
Yeah, he was like, don't question my blood because you know you this type of blood. You like a Hollywood blood.
Damn.
And I'm a blood that's from the hood. So I respected what he said. That he corrected.
Hey, Iman just said some real shit. He said he didn't want to discredit none of the shit that, because you got to think about it. Who want to discredit anything they already put in? Like me, bro. I say I'm a blog all the time, man. I really know Vito. I really know Pistol P. You know what I'm saying? Herb always call out Vito, RP Vito. You know what I'm saying? He got a whole album called Pistol P Project with Pistol P on the front cover. These my little mans, man. These my mans. You hear me? So with that being said, though, I can kind of understand it. Go ahead, bro.
What does it mean when you saying, look, you probably trying to get yourself up out of the situation? Hocus is saying, my nigga, I was at the top of that Rico. I already faced it. I already been through this shit.
But he, he just said what he felt, though.
I gotta give him credit, like I said.
Hey, bro, and then my people just told me today. I was telling them, like, so-and-so wore up the BIM. said, come to the city. We gonna go on the block. We gonna do that shit, clear up all that shit they talking about online. He said, why you didn't do it? I say, man, bro, shit, why would I do it? For one, I had a conversation with Wap the Bam, and bro told me, like, look, bro, you don't want to be you ain't even here. That's a fact. Bro, you don't want to be associated with a nigga Rico or some shit if the Rico come. I said, damn, he right. From that point on, what I started telling motherfuckers, like, bro, real talk, I'm just a blogger. I work a job, man. I'm out the way, man. Leave me alone.
Shout out to Hocus45th, man.
But I never drop my flag, though.
Shout out to him, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you know
what? I don't got no flag, bro.
He's standing on his too.
I would never drop it, though, if I had one.
So if you ain't got none, how you gonna drop it?
Shout out to him, though. He's standing on his too with this. Because some heavy hitters is coming from East, West, and he's standing on his too. You know, I respect that.
That's a fact. And like this shit is different though. This shit actually went viral. First it was, you know what I'm saying, doing this thing. Then it went viral. Then this shit went viral, bro. That's all niggas. Niggas gonna reference this for a while. I can see it already. Cause certain niggas done already spoke on it. They gonna have to respond to them niggas. You know what I'm saying? But no, for sure,
but people gonna see it from both ways, though. People gonna see it from Jim's way too, because they're gonna be like,
yeah, I do see Jim Jones' logic, right? Because him saying, "Look, I'm trying to like a Trojan horse, right? I'm about to boss up, you know, somebody who's been through this, and show them how to do it. Become a businessman, an executive." You know what I'm saying? But then the question that comes to mind, I think Kratos or somebody made this point earlier. Then I'm gonna ask you, well, how effective are you, right? Because you got the platform, you got the voice.
What you think about the CIA
working for you? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
CIA starting these games.
I think that their hand has always been there. It has never been out the game. They've always played their cards.
How you feel about Tookie? What they said about Tookie being that he's one of your comrades, you know?
I believe that yeah, I accept what he's saying. Being that I know him, he never denounced being a Crip, but what he did say is that there was a change that needed to happen. We need to change the identity. That's why he wrote children's books. And he was writing books on, how to reinvent it. See, because you can go in the wrong direction for many years, but at some point you can turn around and go back the other way. No matter how far you go in the wrong direction, you can always go back the other way in the right direction. So I think that they used him as a martyr. They took him out, because they wanted to make a demo. That's what they've been doing all the time. In 1969, J. Edgar Hoover came into power. He brought in the COINTELPRO against the Black Panther Party. During that time, Bunchy Carter, John Hocus was assassinated in UCLA. Larry Hoover was crowned king in Chicago. Clarence Hoover became a West Side Crip in LA. So you got all these three. You got J. Edgar Hoover, Clarence Hoover, Larry Hoover, all in 1969. Raymond Lee.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I never knew that, Chuck. That was game right there.
You feel him? You understand what he just said?
Man, that was powerful. I didn't know it was united like that.
Bro, I heard this and I couldn't name the third party, the one that was from LA. He just named them. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that was crazy. I had never heard that.
Yeah, ain't that real? Let me play it again. Fuck it. Get the tune, man. Like, at the end of the day, man, hit the like button, subscribe, check out Making of a Man TV, check out Death of the Cloud Chaser, check out Channel Black Nigga on YouTube and motherfucking Instagram.
The conglomerate.
Man, y'all don't know what's going on, man. Y'all need to get in tune, stupid.
Washington started the Crips where all this happened in 1969, bro. There are no coincidences. So if this man is saying that the CIA, that the Crips and Bloods is the offspring of the CIA, it's hard to disagree with him when based on the scenario I just gave you, everything that took place. Because here, if we'd have stayed on the trajectory of Black Power, to see, because the power structure of the Black Power movement was the Black family. So if you got all these influential individuals that got knocked down in 1969 and got replaced with other individuals, it's hard to disagree with what he's saying. Because if we grew up with free lunch programs, a 10-point program, Black Panther Party program for, people in Black communities. I was old enough to remember when the Black Panthers used to pull up. The Black Panthers would pull up and monitor the whole situation until they either wrote you a ticket and let you go, or they gave them reason why you was being arrested. That's what we used to have in our community. We don't have that anymore. Black Panthers went down to the State House of the state of California, down there to, at that time, Ronald Reagan with their long guns. It wasn't 2 or 3 days. They changed the law. See what I'm saying? They're capable of doing whatever they want to in the instance of quote unquote white power or white supremacy.
What you think about the CIA starting these games?
I think that their hand has always been there. It has never been out the game. They've always played their cards.
How you feel about Tookie, what they said about Tookie being that he's one of your comrades,
I believe that, I accept what he's saying. Being that I know him, he never denounced being a Crip, but what he did say is that there was a change that needed to happen. We need to change the identity. That's why he wrote children's books, and he was writing books on, how to reinvent it. See, because you can go in the wrong direction for many years, but at some point you can turn around and go back the other way. No matter how far you go in the wrong direction, you can always go back the other way, in the right direction. So I think that they used him as a martyr. They took him out, because they wanted to make a demo. That's what they've been doing all the time. In 1969, J. Edgar Hoover came into power. He brought in the COINTELPRO against the Black Panther Party. During that time, Bunchy Carter, John Hocus was assassinated in UCLA. Larry Hoover was crowned king in Chicago. Clarence Hoover became a West Side Crip in LA. So you got all these three. You got J. Edgar Hoover, Clarence Hoover, Larry Hoover, all in 1969. Raymond Lee Washington started the Crips where? All this happened in 1969.
Yo, what's the word though? Well, nobody got nothing to say now, huh? Shit crazy.
They in there? They still in the clubhouse?
Yeah. They don't got nothing to say.
So what? Your argument is that... Go ahead, Cameron.
Hocus versus Jim Jones.
You say what, shorty?
What's going on with the Hocus versus Jim Jones?
Damn, you want to hear it?
I want to hear it.
Somebody update her up, but we about to play.
Yeah, that's a long ways to go back, huh?
No, you know what? I got it for you.
That is, it's called resetting the room.
That's a fact. You know me or something?
Big Chuck, I'm bridging the gap. I've been on here 5 years like you.
Because I was about to reset you.
Been out the game. They've always played their cards.
How you feel about Tookie, what they said about Tookie being that
You said how I'm going to do that?
starting these games?
I think that their hand has always been there. It has never been out the game. They've always played their cards.
How you feel about Tookie, what they said about Tookie being that he's one of your comrades,
I believe that, I accept what he's saying. Being that I know him, he never denounced being a Crip, but what he did say is that there was a change that There was a change that needed to happen. We need to change the identity. That's why he wrote children's books, and he was writing books.
Yeah, we can't play it. It ain't even rewinding right now. You good with that, Timer?
I thought you was gonna play the Hocus and Jim.
Yeah, the Hocus and Jim. It ain't rewinding right now, guy.
Play it off. You can't play it off Hocus Instagram.
I'm on Hocus Instagram. Hold on. Oh, here you go.
Let me ask you a question.
All right.
So have you been seeing Hocus45th doing the put the flag down?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
To each his own. You heard? But I think it's a way to do everything. I think that the positive message that he's trying to push, he didn't have to drop his flag to do so. You heard? Like, we in a war right now. You heard? And us being in a position and for the things that people see us for is either going to work two ways for us. Negative or positive is how you paint the picture. I've been turning this picture into a positive situation for a long time. I ain't the perfect person. I know what I chose to get into. I know the brotherhood that I'm a part of, and I know why I'm here. The reasons I started with are not the reasons that I'm ending with. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in a real solid place where I can help a lot of these kids that grew up misplaced and just in the hood with nothing to look forward to, and nothing. Like, I can help that. I can help offset that. And even if I can help one person, then I know I did my job. And maybe that one person can help somebody else. But people put themselves in certain situations, and I don't know his certain situations, so I just don't want to talk bad about nobody that's probably trying to get himself out of whatever he's into. But I do know for a fact that this is a little bit deeper than dropping the flag for me. You heard? Like, I started something that has destroyed a lot of lives, that had put a lot of people in danger. Like, I know that wholeheartedly. I take accountability for everything that I do. You heard? But in the flip side is that I'm still here and I'm still moving with my brotherhood, and I'm showing them a positive thing. What I've done has not been done where I'm from. You heard? So when they look at me and they see me being a businessman, an executive, an artist, a successful person, a good father, I'm changing the narrative for all people that's affiliated with gang and had to come up through gang culture because they never had the brotherhood that they needed to. We don't have that support system coming up outside. It's lonely outside.
Taking advantage of
100%. 100%. There's nothing pretty about this lifestyle. I'm not trying to paint a pretty picture. You heard? It's a disgusting lifestyle.
You know what? I actually like what you said. I didn't have to do it to push my positive message. You're right. But blood has been in New York City over 30 plus years. So tell me what method has worked to keep the kids from coming in and out of jail and dying at rapid rates. Tell me what method has worked. See, the difference is, though, I was really in the thick of it. Can't nobody take nothing away from Jim Jones and the way you put on for the homies from New York. We salute you, always have. But that black hoodie Hocus, that ain't the same Hocus that y'all see right now on the internet. See, where I'm from, all of our big homies went to the feds. Ben went to the feds when we was kids. So me and my fam, right? Me and my circle of Castle Hill Projects, we was forced to be big homies at 18 years old, 19 years old. And nah, I ain't trying to get out of nothing. I ain't trying to get myself out of nothing. Tell them what I've been in already. I lived that life in any way you want to put it. Getting money, hustling, putting in work, talking indictments. Sat on Rikers Island 4 years, looked the judge in the eye, picked 12, and got acquitted. Stand up, stood tall. As the big homie. I wasn't a little pup on the indictment. I was the big homie. I was who they wanted. I was the get out of jail free card. Even till today, they trying to use me as a get out of jail free card. So to the youth out there, if you repping a gang now, you repping a criminal enterprise. And if years later, you want to call yourself inactive and just be chilling, you know what? They can still just come grab you for no reason. Don't tell me they can't, because they did it to me. So no, don't be a 42-year-old man still having an assumption out there that you repping the gang when you really not. Because you will end up on somebody, Rico. These gangs ain't do for us what we thought they would, bro. And this ain't about me. This is really about saving and changing lives, bro. Every time we recruit a new member, we are recruiting them into a criminal enterprise. It's like, why y'all don't focus on that? It's like y'all keep coming up with your own reasons on why I did it when I tell everybody why I did it. Because Hocus can't be that real. He can't really be trying to help these kids. And the fact of the matter that I've been doing this work for years, since I came home in 2012, shows that y'all really haven't been paying attention to me. And the thing I love about you, Jim, is that you reach back and you do take niggas out the mud and try to help them, like you doing with my brother Dice Peso. Me and Dice Peso was running around every day together, trying to figure it out, getting it out the mud. So when I seen you embrace him, you earned the salute from me that you don't even understand. So like I've been saying, even if you don't drop your flag, the movement should be supported, because the mission is to bring down this homicide rate in the hood. And right now, it's a spotlight on New York. We got everybody watching. We have the chance and opportunity to build something new that's not based around criminality. And I think that's more important than me dropping my flag. I already helped so many walk away from the gangs. And, you know, little do y'all know, a lot of the people that y'all respect and look up to is in my DM supporting. And they're like, Hocus, you doing the right thing. So,
man, Klaus to that brother, man. Hocus45th.
Hey, Chuck.
Yo.
But that's almost like, I don't know if you've seen that one meme on Instagram or it'll be on YouTube where the dude is standing up there, the police got him, and he got the cell phone. Hey, Cuzzo, come out the bushes, man. They got us, man. We caught. Yeah. What you mean? Yeah, man, they caught. They got us. We caught. Just like you can't be sitting up there talking about every time y'all get somebody in the gang, y'all putting them in a criminal enterprise. Now you can't just keep saying that. Like, okay, you out. Go ahead, get on out. But don't stand out there, point the finger at everybody and tell them, hey, you know, if you join that, you join the criminal enterprise.
For somebody that's going to wrestle against that enterprise, you know, whether you should keep that enterprise or not, what's the incentive of being a part of it? If the incentive is to get some more jail time or become part of some RICO, some indictment, like that's
it's
not
not
a good
illegal to be in the gang.
What positive incentives are there to be a part of an organization like that?
Well, here's the thing, bro. Even you saying that you out, but listen, I'm about to answer it for you. I'm about to answer it for you. I'm about to answer it for you, my brother. I'm about to answer it for you. So even you being out the game, you still in the gang book. So you forever with the gang. So you can say you not with it and all that shit. That shit don't mean nothing, bro. That shit just social media. Here's the thing.
My question was, what's the incentive of being in the game?
Yeah, what if he want to help that lives now to stop them from going? Because that's that. You know, we all know Hocus. So you don't think that that's really sincere what he's saying?
No, I absolutely think that's really sincere, and I get it 100%. But I also get what Jim Jones was saying. Even the West Coast niggas was saying. Even where I'm from, he said Chicago too, but we didn't get involved in that, right? But he said that you got to lead that shit to have some sort of camaraderie or leadership or move in a different direction. You don't got to do that. You can literally say, go back to the old days. That's all you got to say. For every organization, it came from positivity. It became J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI that changed things. And that's a fact.
Yo, Chuck, what's the incentive? What's the plus of being in the game?
Chuck, answer that man, though. That's a great question, though.
So for one, bro, when you talking to me and you study shouting out words to me, saying gang and all this, bro, listen, hold on, bro. He wanted me to answer the question. I'm about to answer the question for you. Let me answer the question for you. So whole time, hey, Miss Lady, he keeps shouting these words out at me and saying this and that and saying gang and all that. Like the organizations that I know that to be a part, I'm a part of some of them, right? These are organizations. Whole time, even the U.S. government gave them money for job placement. But with that being said,
so you get a 501c3?
Hey, whatever you need to get, right? You definitely need to get that. But whatever you get and you promote your message, right? So here's the thing, though.
It's a nonprofit.
They did that, though. They did that, though.
Wait a minute, but Chuck, what he's asking is a very, very valid question. Once you become mature and you done been through all of this stuff, education is everything. So just simply Hocus saying, if you join a gang, you're a part of a criminal enterprise.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's just knowledge for you to make a choice as an individual.
No, that's a fact though.
Again, I'm a founder of a nonprofit organization, and I definitely we're about stopping violence. So here in Hocus, that's why I asked you, because I know who Hocus is. So I wanted to know exactly what was going on. I'm very glad to hear what he's doing. But that question that gentleman just asked is a very, very valid question.
No, listen. Let me. Can I answer the question? So all I'm saying is, look, most of these organizations that started, whether it was the East Coast, the West Coast, Midwest, wherever you at, right? They started from, you know what I'm saying? We trying to uplift our people. Whole time, things have changed. You know what I'm saying? Other people got involved. You can go read J. Edgar Hoover's book, and he tell you how he got involved.
I'm asking right now.
Listen, hold on, bro. Let me finish, bro. Hey, bro, you cutting me off at the wrong part. You cutting me off at the wrong part. But J. Edgar Hoover, you can go read his book again, and you will find out that these things was taking place. So what I mean by me and Rich, right? He a Crip and say I'm a Blood, and we shake hands, we say it's peace. And then next thing you know, some motherfuckers come through and boom this bitch up. We ain't do it, but they say it was the Bloods that did it. So now Rich feels some type of way. Like, that don't mean that the message wasn't straight. That just mean that people was involved that wanted to get us straight. You understand that?
So you heard my question.
That still ain't answer the question, though.
Thank you.
What do you mean?
Look, what is the incentive?
Incentive?
Okay.
You should have no incentive with doing right.
Let
me answer the question for him. Let me answer the question for him, bro. You should have no incentive with doing right, bro. You understand?
Can you answer that question, Rich? What's the incentive of being in the gang nowadays?
Hey, bro, you going with nowadays. So just because a brother joins Nation of... Listen, hold on, hear me out. I'm about to answer this for you because you had it for me first, right? But let me answer it for you, right? So look, bro, it's the same way. Listen, bro, I don't know. Look, it's the same way if you got the Nation of Islam, right? The Nation of Islam. The same thing can apply, bro. So if he got the Nation of Islam and he joined the Nation of Islam today and they doing some shit that's different from back in the day, was that wrong, or would that deter him from doing what he need to do? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you though, bro. It's similar to the Nation of Islam, bro. It's all it is, bro. All it is one thing. This is what y'all gotta realize, right? It's somebody pulling the strings. You just not a part of it. Don't you get it? You're just not a part of it.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Go ahead, Rich.
All right, look. Sure. I'm not going to sit here and justify being in a gang. Or that it should be incentivized to be in a gang. Really, let's get back to the original point. We were talking about the inception of these things, as far as from where they come from. Those things is cultural. Hold on, brother. Hold on. I'm gonna get to the answer if you let me answer it in the manner that Okay, cool.
Go ahead, Rich.
So once again, like I said, though, if we could circle back to where we talked about the areas that we come from is cultural. So even if you are banging, you're not banging, you still come from that particular area. That's why earlier I asked you what particular borough you was from, because I know that you guys, you serious about the borough that you come from. Somebody come from the Bronx, somebody come from Queens, somebody come from wherever they come from, right? So in wherever we come from, you come from these particular areas, regardless if you're from the flag or you're not from the flag. You come from that particular area, you're still going to be a part of that neighborhood. Now, as far as the gang and the criminal element, no. You promise death, jail, and all of that as far as in to being in a gang. But that isn't the issue. What we started on the manner in which somebody was dropping a flag and how it was done. It morphed into where we at now. So you people are asking us to justify things that aren't justifiable just for the sake of arguing.
No, that's a fact.
Got a
That's a
question
fact.
for you though.
Go ahead.
If y'all want to give him a chance.
Oh yeah, homeboy.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Reed.
R9. I don't know saying that. Go ahead, bro. You got the input.
So look, that's what I wanted to say. Right, like when you asking the question of like what are the incentives or like being in a gang, I would say from my perspective, from my experience, because I am a member, right? Brotherhood, protection, knowledge from the older ones that came before you, and this is before all of the bullshit got involved with the drugs and the killing and the guns and everything that became instrumental in the destruction of our people. When we talk about the incentives, like the pros, the good shit of being in the gang, yeah, brotherhood, camaraderie, protection, knowledge, a sense of family for those who don't have it. You see what I'm saying? Let's see. A way to wield power, to have numbers amongst, your people, your tribe, because that gang shit came from the system, the government, right? Because we didn't invent gangs. The first people with gangs were white people. When we talk about the incentives, the good shit of us being together, that's what the start of all of that was, us protecting our people, us having numbers to wield power to be able to, do shit. You see what I'm saying? As a unit, you see what I'm saying? As everybody being on the same page, moving in code, and we doing what we need to do to get what we need to get done for our people. That is the incentive of the pros of what the gangs started, what they were in the inception of them. Now, what they turned out to be, what they did to the neighborhoods, that's a whole nother story.
I agree. And then they had help. They had J. Edgar Hoover.
Well said.
They had J. Edgar Hoover to have help, nigga.
Let me ask you this, because we can't keep using J. Edgar Hoover as a fucking reason why.
Nigga, oh hell no. Hey Kratos, bro.
Can't keep doing
Chill out, bro.
You can't get shit done.
Yeah, I gotta pause him on the YouTube, bro. Hey, Rich,
yeah,
he bugged out, bro, because that shit was true. Like, when he talking, that shit was a lot of niggas before 2010, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of these niggas still talk this way because they don't know no better. But if you go look after 2010, you can go look at J. Edgar Hoover, bro, you will see what niggas been saying is the truth. He was really trying to do that. If you meet up and you in a motherfucking room and you in the room with 8 people and some shit, dog, congregation, right? You know what that mean, right? A congregation, like church and shit. Yeah, I bet you do. But you congregating. That's where that shit even came from. Him. So if you 8 people in there and you congregating, bro, they knocking on your door. The FBI, nigga. That's it. They knocking on your door, bro. They trying to find out what you got going on and why y'all having this meeting today. That's a fact, bro. So, we can go talk about it and we can do like we did, I say, prior to 2010 and act like this shit didn't happen, but the shit did happen. These brothers who was talking this shit was actually telling the truth. It's out there.
Make it through. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you came up with it.
Something real quick. Fred Hampton and the Black Panther sounds like what R93D is talking about. I think that's kind of what he's talking about.
I'm not disagreeing with that, brother.
But if you think about Fred Hampton and the Black Panther, you don't think that think about how far back that was. And that's how they spun the gang from the beginning of that type of thing.
Now, see, look.
Could be.
See, the history is that, okay, when you think about the US organization, the Black Panthers, when you think about the Slausons, the businessmen, the gladiators, the chain gangs, the Piru boys, these are all the predecessors of all of the gangs in the neighborhood, right? Because like Bunchy was a Slauson. Like Huey Newton, Baby Huey, his little brother is one of the founders of the Rolling Six. If you look at the documentary,
talk about it.
If you look at the documentary, Bastards of the Party, because Bone is the narrator, you know, Bone from Athens Park. He
talk about it.
Members, him and other members, you know, other people from around the neighborhood and other OGs that were in those earlier gangs, like Kamasi, Big Bird, and you know, a lot of niggas from, you know, around that era, you know, from the 60s. They tell the story of how, you know, the riots in 65 and Watts and how the Panthers and shit, how they, you know, was doing their thing, and how after the Panthers was, you know, everybody was shot or either killed or either went to jail, those little niggas in the hood that was watching the Panthers, right, was trying to fill that void of trying to do the same thing that they seen they OGs doing, remember, because that's why the earlier Crips was wearing the leather coat, just like the Panthers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They was trying to fill a void of what they had seen before. Remember, I told y'all that it started out of them trying to protect themselves in their neighborhood, and then that shit turned into something else. It was a void they was trying to fill. So you have to know the history of this shit to know the direction of even when these wars started between these gangs. See, I ain't even from LA, but I'm a gang member, but I have to know this history to know where I come from. Like, I'm a blood, but you got to know Crip history to know where your shit come from.
Right.
So you got to know all this shit. You got to know everything. Because you got to know where it started.
No, for sure, bro. Salute to you. Salute to you. Speaking on what you speaking on, I want to get the female shit. Hey, Phoenix, Jay, you in here? What you been?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Phoenix, what you been hearing? What you think about, like, on a female perspective though? Because you know what I'm saying, it's death for the crowd chaser, man. You want to hear it?
I think that if you're going to drop your flag, you shouldn't have never picked it up in the first place. That's what I think.
Okay. And what you think about people that's changing their lives, though, and their gang members? Do they keep their flag or they drop it?
Wait, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Like, how does that work? Like, it's people that, you know, we got different organizations, right? They got different organizations on the West, different organizations in Chicago, wherever, right? Where, like, for example, on the West, like, how do they, you know what I'm saying, not drop the flag, but keep up positivity?
I don't know how they keep up positivity. What when you say dropping your flag, like, to me, it's a little deeper with us. Like, you know, when I walk in the street, I walk in my brother's blood. I walk in my cousin's blood. I walk in my nephew's blood. It's deeper than just a flag. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. I understand it's positive, but I feel like if you was going to drop it, you should have never picked it up.
Yo, sis, can I ask you a question, sis? With you walking in your brother's, your cousin's blood, respectfully, and rest their souls, right? The reason they formed these organizations was not for you to be walking in your cousin's blood. They're supposed to be protecting, no matter what side it is. They're supposed to be protecting the area and people that look like them. What about the
supposedly? But they didn't protect my brother and my cousins. That's why their blood is on the cement and I'm walking in it.
So no,
I get that, but you know what? If we perpetuate that, we'll be walking in our grandkids' blood, and and they kids' blood, and they'll be walking in our blood.
I could never. I took my oath, and that's that.
No, not to say that you took an oath, but you know what? What about your oath to real true brotherhood that don't give you a color?
Yeah,
your brother that you're supposed to
be. Still the brothers.
What about them?
Them still my brothers too.
Okay, but
see, look, let me explain something to me. It's a difference, right? Yep. It's just like with the mob with Lucky. I always say this. I always use this example. Lucky was in the mob. Lucky's best friend was Maya Lansky. Maya Lansky was a Jew. Maya Lansky could never sit in on business meetings with the mob bosses, right, even though most of his ideas was in the creation of the mob came from Maya Lansky. But he could never, bring Maya in because Maya was a Jew. But he didn't let his relationship with Maya come in between him being a boss and his involvement in what he had going on.
Okay, I get that.
So it's like
I understand that. You're saying there's different levels to it, but there shouldn't be no level if you're supposed to be walking in unity.
But hold on, Kratos, hold on, because walking in unity can be done without them putting down their flag. See, what y'all gotta understand. What's understood cannot really be explained because it's something. Even with her explaining the blood and stuff, you guys will still never understand the soil within that blood. Because again, if you go back to the history, like you guys were just saying, like any other organization, this shit is built. It's levels to that. How y'all boroughs move is different. Out here, that flag represents a lot on both ends, whether it's good or bad. It's a lot of good done behind them flags, but that will never be put out there because it's made for gangs to look bad. Like any other organization, there's good and there's bad. But just because somebody is doing good or they're out here helping and elevating, you don't hear them saying they're putting down their flags or dropping their flags. They would never do that, but they elevate to move forward to help the youth not go through the streets and everything that they didn't have to go through with their blood. So it's a difference in that. They don't have to put their flag down to bring and promote unity. Yeah, that flag is a part of who they are. That's like you telling somebody to put down their culture because of the bad of that culture. No, you could still do good with that culture and still hold on to that flag. That flag has different meanings and different bloodshed.
Yes.
Just like you going out there grabbing an animal that you have. If you got a kill of a moose or something and you want to hang that shit and get it clean, that's what that flag is. That flag is going to die to them real ones that have been out here with that. They know the good and the bad. So they're going to help elevate the young not to walk and make the mistakes they did. But that don't mean they have to drop their flag. They flag out meaning to who they are.
That's a fact.
I understand that, sweetie. I get it. I understand what you're saying. I get it. And there's no real buts about it, but I have to say this. The blood of the loved ones that are on the cement and in the tar, that came from the hands of people who resemble you, who look like you. You may have a cousin named Earl, and you got that look just like an op you got named Ray Ray.
And that's the good and the bad. You know how many hoods are connected to each other that walk away daily when it comes to doing shit called drive-bys, and they have to turn around because at the end of the day, that decision is made because blood sometimes is thicker than water.
Yeah.
So again, it's kind of one of those that's kind of like a Kimball. You have to understand, the change comes from everything that you have went through. So them flags represent the past of that blood, the past of that shedding, the past of them wounds, the past of what they done did, the good and the bad. That's why I said to change and elevate does not mean you have to drop your flag. Now you pin your flag up to remind you of the man that you have become now and the positive things you want to put on to other black kids. Yeah, that form of blood might come in the form of your own color, but tell me, when has that stopped? We've been the form of our own color before, or even before a flag was even put up.
You're right.
We are our biggest destruction. So a flag does not really matter.
But why perpetuate counterproduction?
The same reason why we keep recycling the same thing in the world, just like y'all take throwbacks and make them newbies, right? A throwback classic is the same thing with their flag. That flag is a classic to where they come from.
I don't disagree with that.
Curtis, I want to ask, did y'all hear Hocus talk about the fact of that he's been changed a lot of things in his life and ended up getting indicted again? Did you hear that part about it?
Since 2012, he's been changing lives, he says.
Yeah, and I know that. I mean, not for the last 5, I know some of the stuff he's been doing. So how think about that part, though.
No, we not going against Hocus. That's the problem. So that's the problem right there. This is not a conversation. Listen, this is not a conversation to go against Hocus. We love what Hocus is doing. We just showing.
But this is the thing, Chuck, we all turn around and do positive things. But, you know, like with me, I'm a mother, I'm a student, and I'm a blood immediately after that. It don't change me being a blood.
Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Answer the question though about him being re-picked back up.
You say what now?
Like, you still didn't, you know, because maybe that might be why he might want to go ahead and put the flag down, because he haven't been doing nothing since a certain amount of time. And the next
so you talk about like, so look, we don't have a problem with him putting the flag down. The problem, or how he put the flag down, or why he put the flag down. The problem is he didn't even need to put the flag down. So we had some New York niggas come in, like Jim Jones. He said he 9 Trey. He from the East Coast set, right? And that nigga said that, no, look, I'm with that. But at the end of the day, I've been doing positivity. I've been trying to change people's lives forever. So ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I just think like if you join for the right reasons, you for never would ever put down that flag. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, because the reason you joined is because of all productivity. All like, we got to get this shit going, gang. Let's get it. You feel me?
So but you can still, so the youth can be enticed by the shit they hear on social media and the shit they hear in
I don't know what you mean by that, bro. I don't know what you mean by that.
Let me finish. You didn't let me finish. Of course you can't understand what I meant. So all this shit that they seeing now, the children are seeing now, they glorify shit. They're making it seem bigger than life and like there's no repercussions to nothing. These kids are actually going away for lifetime bibs, lifetime sentences. Okay, because they signed up for it at an age that they didn't understand. Because it's a new trend for us in New York.
Yeah, I get that. I get that though, bro.
But you don't get it because I didn't even finish saying it. But and I'm only saying this because the sisters that are deep in this, and this is part of they makeup, and they on the other side. On the other side of the country, and this is what their lifestyle is. I'm going off of what I see in New York. I'm going off of 2 New Yorkers that you got to, up top there. And it's just like, yo, what you showing to the children, and you actually acknowledging that you were part of the destruction and you want to make a change. This is Jimmy saying this. And you want to make a change. Now, they're seeing you in your uniform, dressed in your attire. They're calling you teenager or senior citizen and all this. And that's all good. Embrace it because you still fly nigga, whatever. That's cool. But children are watching this and they're following suit. And when you're doing this, you're not really promoting, you're not pushing.
No, bro. I think you got it wrong, though. Hey, look, you out of touch, though. I think you out of touch.
Let me jump in real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. The difference between following social media is these are images and the beliefs of other people, make believe lies. It's a social media of opinions of some of these people and boys that are seeing shit. They are living in these hoods. They are growing up in these hoods. So they're seeing it, and some of them don't have a choice. So because, again, you have to have a past in order to become into the present of the man you are. Again, Their past is that flag. And if you not, or you done picked up from LA politics of that flag, you know, some things you can't erase. There's a lot of things that we not with from us politically down to gang, but that's just what it is. You can't go uninked. That's already been written and laid. So therefore, it's not fair to really say, oh, well, this and that. You can't know. It's like you trying to say, oh, what you want people to do? Say, oh, I wasn't from a hood, so I can't do this. No, that's not being true to yourself. We are who we are at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing. And you have to face that. I'd rather let a kid know the real about these streets and the past and the present than for them to just sit up and see certain parts broken down, how people choose to break it down for them. That's confusing and playing with their mind. And that opens up curiosity for a lot of these young youth that don't know. But when they see that shit real life and happening, there's kids that make the choice to join, and there's kids that make the choice from seeing their perimeter and where they're from that they don't want to be like that. So you have to, again, we got to watch how we flip certain things around.
All right, sweetie, but you know, the frontal lobe is not even fully developed for them to make these choices like this. And you know, someone mentioned something about how they came up with these gangs when they were 15 years old and they were kids. Their frontal lobes weren't developed fully. So how is it that we still would go off of something that some kids made up?
Because
they have programs
now.
And they have programs and reform for that too. They have you ever seen where a nigga in prison for 20 years and it'll be like, hey, this offender committed this crime at this age, and because he was at this age, he is eligible for parole, or he is eligible for his charges to be dropped. They have reform and different stuff for that because of them being young when they committed their offenses. I have friends right now did 21 years, 19 years, 20 years, and they got out on that very law, and they out right now, and they functioning with a job, with a family, with a house, doing what they supposed to do. So they have reform for that.
I work myself. I work in a psych hospital. This is the criminally insane. They are these are people who had lifetime sentences, and you see so many cases where there is no such thing as reform because they're ready. They've been messed up.
That's not true. That's not true.
I'm talking about in the hospital where I work.
Okay, because in the prison system, it's a 90% chance lifers, they're the ones that don't return. The ones that do 20 years, 27, 25, 90% of them do not return to prison.
And Kratos, let me ask you,
6 years,
okay, so
12 years. So that shows there's some type of reform.
Okay, so Kratos, how many of them patients are chemically imbalanced from the pills that they are giving them in the mental facility? Because understand, hold on, let me finish. Because understand, a lot of them are in there are crazy because it is a mental conspiracy. It is a mental thunderstorm that goes around in their head. And this is coming from a mental patient. When you are submissive with chemical imbalancement, which comes from these medicines that are given to them people, and you're put in a psychiatric ward and you're told you're crazy, pretty soon after you're told so much, it's like training a dog. After you train a dog so long, he's going to get tired of being trained and adapt to what the trainee wants him to learn. So therefore, a lot of them are in there. You can be reformed, but if there's no platform to show you how to be reformed besides taking these pills and being institutionalized, how do you start to reform a mind? A mind learns every day, so there's no way that you can say that you can't be reformed. Age is just a number. If you want to be reformed with the right tools to have and to go by, you can reform your mind. Chemical imbalancement and not understanding mental health is why we're completely loosed up with being crazy. That's why I stopped taking my meds. That's not helping with understanding why you're the way you are. It's called chemical imbalancement, which keeps it under a rug. So we're not going to get nowhere.
I'm not saying it's not being masked by medication. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's the case. But you know what? I see a lot of cases with people with impulsive disorder. You know, they move on whatever. They'll bust you in your head with a mop bucket and a heartbeat. Like, they'll stab you up just because there's an opportunity to stab you up. You know, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and you see more than just a few cases. The majority of people I work around and I work with, this is what they're doing. You know what I mean? I know about the med part of it, but I see it and I'm like, wow, just imagine this person in society. Imagine this person on a subway somewhere. he is going to do something to you. There's no control. And guess what? The original crime showed impulse. There was no control then. So could I blame it on medication? I don't know. I don't know what to blame it on. I don't know. I just know that, a lot of people that are in these places, the reform will be them behaving, but they can't be outside of the institution because they're going to hurt somebody. And you around them every day. Your guards is up. Like, you think you having a sweet day, it's going to be all smooth and everything else. It could be until they pop off. And a lot of them, and I'm going to tell you this.
Hey, whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo.
A lot of them are gang members too,
Whoop-de-doo, man. Whoop-de-doo. Everybody a gang member today. Whoop-de-doo.
This guy's a meathead, man. What a fat shit. But anyway, that's
whoop-de-doo.